Well, a buzz cut and a clean shave no longer mandatory for everyone in the military. There are some new regulations that would allow turbans and beards and other religious symbols to accommodate deeply held beliefs. Retired U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel Ralph Peters is a Fox News strategic analyst, and he joins me now. Colonel, good morning. Good to have you back on the program.
Hey, great to speak with you, Martha. You know, there are two aspects to this question. There's the ethical religious, and then there's political. One is complicated. The political is very straightforward. I hope we can talk about them both.
Absolutely. So, you think that there are some situations where accommodations should be made.
Well, it's a tough question because good order and discipline has to come first. And there's an issue of where do you stop? Do Wiccans get to wear funny hats? Do Druids get to wear robes? Now, the example the Pentagon's holding up, because it's fairly neutral, are the Sikhs, with turbans and beards, according to their religion. Now, I'm glad Sikhs want to join our military. Sikhs have a long tradition of being really tough, noble warriors, centuries. Best troops, except for the Madras sappers, best troops the British had in colonial India were the Sikhs. They're great. But when you join our military, Martha, everyone gives up a great deal. As a soldier, I gave up a lot of my civil rights, a lot of my personal freedoms. Now, let's turn it around and say, let's consider a group that nobody considers anymore, Christians. If you're a Christian and you join the Army, the Marines, you are putting yourself in line to violate the most basic premise of our faith. Thou shalt not kill. You're putting your immortal soul at risk. Now, that's a little bit more important to me, I think, than a beard would be. My point being just that when you join the military, there are compromises, there are dispensations. So I am worried that this is just more of the politically correct assault on basic military values, which leads us to problem two.
Yeah, what happens, two things come to mind. And you've sort of touched on this. When you join the military and you wear a uniform, in many ways, you are giving up your individuality in some ways in order to become part of a cohesive group, right? And everyone, as you point out, leaves certain things behind in order to meet that common goal. Now, the military is saying, the Pentagon is saying that these will be case-by-case basis, that even, for Sikhs, and I understand there's only a couple that are currently enrolled in the U.S. military, according to what we're hearing. So, that if you're at a desk job and you're a Sikh and you wear your Sikh turban, it's not a problem. If you're out, fighting on the battlefield, it might become an issue. And in that case, your commander has the right to say, no, you need to wear your uniform exactly as everyone else does.
It's just, we know that it's very hard to roll back such dispensations, very hard. And there are practical reasons, for instance, for the ban on beards in the military. It's hard, almost impossible to get a good seal on your protective mask, your gas mask. But I think that while the ethical and religious issues are a gray area, they're very tough. And I can really see both sides of that. The bigger problem for me is that Team Obama's base, looks at our military and sees a large self-selecting conservative group because, young liberals don't join the military, they join Facebook. And this is one group that's overwhelmingly conservative by nature, not radically so, which Team Obama, this administration, has tremendous control over and can use for social experimentation. So you saw moving gays in the military, and I have no problem with that, by the way, as long as they sign up for the full program and aren't just making a political statement. But you've also got the idea of women in combat, which is going to inevitably lower physical standards and get people killed. Now you have loosening regulations on religious garb and religious wear. And, if a Christian says, well, gee, I believe in the Knights Templar, I want to wear a red cross on my left breast. How's that going to go down in Afghanistan? Extreme example. But I really believe that good order and discipline in the military require a reasonable degree of uniformity. You start making exceptions, and you're on the road to real trouble.
There's a lot of obvious controversy in this whole thing and in those issues. Ralph Peters, Colonel, thank you so much. Good to have you here as always.
Thank you, Martha.